and this is Mary's World, and today I'm going to be doing another reading excerpt from The Last Jedi. Now, I know this is a very divisive story, to say the least, but I'd have to say overall I don't think it's that bad. There's a few just like minor things, but overall I think it's pretty good. And so I'm going to be reading an excerpt, spoiler alert, in case you haven't ever seen it, but from the ending, which is one of the most emotional, I think one of my favorite, most touching moments in the stories and in the new series in general, and that is Luke's death. Ray, Kylo said, speaking her name like it was a poison. You're chosen one. Chosen over me. She aligned herself with the old way that has to die. No more masters. I will destroy her and all of it. Know that. Luke searched Kylo's eyes, found them full of fury and hurt. Then he turned off his lightsaber. His face was calm, accepting. No, he said. Strike me down in anger, and I'll always be with you, just like your father. Screaming, Kylo raised his lightsaber over his head and rushed at his defenseless uncle. He brought the blade down on Luke's head and it passed through the Jedi Master, meeting no resistance, as if it passed through a ghost. On Ahch-To, the suns were setting, bathing the peak of the mountain housing the Jedi Temple in luminous orange. On the ledge overlooking the sea, Luke Skywalker floated a few centimeters above the stone. Pebbles hovered around him. His eyes were closed and his legs crossed. His face was strained, and beneath the gray hue, the tendons of his neck stood out. Tears streamed down his face as he poured his strength, his very essence, into the force. Behind him, the peak shuddered, shedding dust and chunks of debris. Kylo staggered, but recovered his footing and aimed another vicious cut at Luke. Once again, his lightsaber blade met nothing but emptiness. Luke smiled at his nephew sadly. See you around, kid, he said. And then he disappeared, leaving Kylo alone on the shattered plain, flakes of salt falling around him like snow. Kylo's blazing eyes kept to the mine and the stone door. The First Order's cannon blasted open. No, he howled. No! Luke opened his eyes and fell to the ledge, the pebbles flunking down around him. He lay on his back, his breathing ragged with exhaustion. The twin suns had touched the horizon and were sinking into the ocean. Around him, the island was wild and alive, a riot of currents and ripples in the forest. Its energies were fed by the birds and insects of the earth, fish, and the scuttling creatures beneath the waves, and the grass and moss that clung to the ground. All were generators of the force, yet none were its containers. Its energy escaped the fragile temporary boundaries of their bodies and spread until it surrounded and permeated everything. Luke heard the wail of the wind and the cries of the birds, and he heard his own faltering breaths as he struggled to get up, and the rhythmic thumping of his heart in his chest. And he heard a familiar voice. Maybe it was real, or perhaps it was just his memory. Let go, Luke. He did, and his body faded away, leaving the ledge empty in the spot where he had been. The forest rippled and shivered, but a moment later this disturbance was lost amid countless other currents of an autumn evening on the island, and the force continued as it always had, luminous, fast, and eternal. So this has been Mary's World, and I will see you next time.